Billionaire Michael Bloomberg is still drawing speculation as a possible presidential contender. If he does run, a top advisor says Bloomberg would be willing to spend more than $100 million of his $40 billion fortune to win. And in a recent interview, Bloomberg said if he runs, then fighting climate change will be a top priority of his campaign. Of course, Emmanuel Macron became president of France with a similar agenda, and they're now facing riots and burning down Paris. Seth Barron is an associate editor at City Journal. He joins us. Wouldn't it be quicker for Michael Bloomberg just to throw $100 million out of the window and watch it float into the Atlantic?
Well, $100 million for Michael Bloomberg is like, that's what he leaves under the plate. I mean, he spent $100 million on his third mayoral campaign.
Right.
He spent $100 million in the recent midterm elections when he wasn't running.
Yeah.
When Wolfson says that Michael Bloomberg's willing to spend more than $100 million, I think we can assume that he's willing to spend comfortably more, like, in the billions to achieve this.
Is he not just, though, one of these politicians who is too disconnected from ordinary life? He was all about the trans fats. So he could regulate the salt out of your cheeseburger, but when it snowed, he couldn't regulate any salt onto 7th Avenue. That was beyond him.
Right, and, sodas and salt and trans fat, those were all things that he focused on. At the same time, Bloomberg was a nonpartisan, technocratic mayor with a business-friendly agenda and, a focus on law and order, and he did a fairly competent job running the city.
By comparison with what's come after.
Well, yeah. The thing with Bloomberg, though, is his emphasis on climate change, gun control. Those indicate that's the extent to which he's still in this elitist bubble.
Nobody west of the Hudson is interested in gun control and climate.
Well, once you get over to the Sierras, then you go west of there, people are interested again. But no, I mean, I'm not sure he's really in touch with the heartland.
Isn't he absolutely what there's no place for? As you said, he's like a centrist technocrat.
Yeah.
In a hyper-partisan environment where people either want Donald Trump or Miss Ocasio-Cortez.
Well, I think he's missed his window in the Democrat Party. They've moved ideologically. One thing he did when he was mayor that I think would come back to haunt him is for immigrants, he charged their sponsors if they went on benefits.
Right.
Now, that's legal.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's like the public charge proposal.
No, I had to agree to all that.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And, that's the sort of thing that, to me, it seems perfectly reasonable. I'm not sure that the mainstream of the Democratic Party now would be in favor of things like that.
So he'd have to explain some of his identity politics.
To the woke aspect of the Democrat Party.
How woke is he on the Ocasio-Cortez scale?
He's extremely unwoke. His whole broken windows agenda was, I mean, at the time, maybe you could have said it was, implicitly racist. But now they would say, this is objectively racist. He'll have a lot of explaining to do to that side of the party.
Do you think that comes from spending every weekend in Bermuda, which is very attractively unwoke in many respects?
Well, you'd think that with someone so concerned about rising ocean levels, he might sell that and try to, find something in Vail or Aspen. But...
Right, higher ground, yeah.
Right.
That's from a guy who managed to actually put a lot of the ocean into the New York City subway during
That's right.
Superstorm Sandy. Well, thank you for that, Seth.
Thanks.
I can